Welcome to the 15th episode of Civics 101. I'm Allison, a current intern at IssueVoter. Throughout this series, we have been sharing 3-minute, nonpartisan, accessible explanations of how our government functions, with the belief that civic education strengthens both government accountability and democracy itself. Today we are covering election laws. In the U.S., individuals can vote in federal, state, and local elections if they are U.S. citizens, meet their state's residency requirements, and are at least 18 years old by election day. The rules governing how, when, and where voters can cast their ballots, however, vary widely from state to state. While all voting laws must comply with the U.S. Constitution and federal statutes, the Constitution grants each state the authority to set the times, places, and manner of holding elections. As a result, policies such as voter registration deadlines, early voting periods, and ID requirements can differ drastically depending on where a citizen lives. Some states require voters to register by mail or in person rather than online. This can be more time-consuming and may pose barriers for those with limited access to transportation or mailing services. 23 states and the District of Columbia allow eligible voters to register to vote and cast their ballot on the same day. Same-day registration helps ensure that newly naturalized citizens, people who have recently moved, or those unaware of registration deadlines can still participate in the democratic process. Most states offer some form of early voting. Longer early voting periods give voters more opportunities to cast ballots while navigating time-demanding jobs, school, or caregiving responsibilities. Across the U.S., voter ID laws range from flexible to highly restrictive. They generally fall into two categories. First, a government-issued photo ID is required and individuals cannot cast a regular ballot without it. Second, ID is requested, but other forms of identification, such as proof of residency, are also accepted. While strict voter ID laws dispel fears around voter fraud, opponents of these regulations argue that the negative effects are far-reaching and particularly impact low-income groups, young people, and communities of color. According to VoteRiders, as of 2020, nearly 29 million voting-age U.S. citizens did not have a non-expired driver's license, and over 7 million did not have any other form of non-expired government-issued photo ID. Regardless of political affiliation, millions of Americans may lack the resources they need to vote in both local and federal elections. States also differ in how they run primary elections. In open primaries, any registered voter can participate regardless of political affiliation. In closed primaries, primary voting is restricted to registered party members. In semi-closed or semi-open system, there is some flexibility, such as letting unaffiliated voters choose a party ballot, but often requiring formal registration with that party. For further reading, check out our article at blog.issuevoter.org. Thank you for joining us for the final episode of Civics 101. IssueVoter is a nonpartisan platform that makes civic engagement accessible, efficient, and impactful. Visit issuevoter.org to learn more. Sign up to stay up to date with legislation and make your voice heard.